Standard BS Plays. It's a Let's Play.
It took the Wii U to really make people see that Nintendo is just not this perfect, you know, perfect godlike company. But what Sonic was doing there. So when people were saying that the Sega should just sell to Nintendo, I'm like, no. I was like, that would be a big mistake. And like I was commenting on someone's video saying that, I was like, that would have been a big mistake. And then someone was like, well, there's blah blah blah, and they were just blindly, you know, one of those blind Nintendo followers. But this was still kind of before people were willing to admit that Nintendo's not invincible with like, and they make nothing but quality products, like good quality products. Which the Wii U really wasn't bad, but you know, just the games that were coming out for it there were some questionable decisions there. There's still some questionable decisions Nintendo is making, but they're also making some really good decisions at the same time. Like the way they had the Switch and some of the games they made for it. They're doing like both really bad and really good decisions. They can really, you know. Yeah, there's a little bowling section here. I can never figure out if, like, all the time if, like, it's actually gonna go through with it or not. I think you just have to hit... I think it's that you just have to hit the thing, and I just now realized if you looked at that polygon thing, the hex... I think it's a hexagon? But anyway, the thing on the floor, the little... You'll see. That thing right there. I just now realized how many rings it puts out is how long those things stay. However many of those there are. Those green, whenever it's light green, as it disappears, that's how many that it produces rings. I don't know for sure if you can see what I'm talking about. I might have just had to point it out, but whatever. Maybe you'll figure it out. But anyway, but yeah, Sonic, but like whenever people, but yeah, the whole thing discussion, luckily that was killed whenever Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces was announced. It's just too bad that Sonic Forces was, you know, not, well, you know. But people had their heads up their butts about Sonic Forces way before it released. Because they were like, it's gonna be terrible. It's just gonna be awful. And they were pointing out all this stuff, and I'm like, you don't know that for sure. Yeah, when it came out, it was not very good. But they didn't know that. And so obviously when it came out, and people, and like, did the way it did, people were like, I told you so! Like, that was a bad time for Sonic. Just people overly criticizing something way before it released. And, like, it's obvious that Sonic Mania did well because they put love into it. But at the same time, it's also because it was like Genesis Sonic. So they're like, see? Sonic shouldn't be 3D. And I'm just like, you're missing a lot of points that people like Exo Paradigm Gamer and them make.
Oh, shoot! I've lost Amy. I bet that robot hauled butt after her. I'd better catch her before it does.
But yeah, this is why I think that Team Sonic Racing, unfortunately, I'm not quite with people who are saying, oh, it's gonna be bad, but unfortunately, I'm just having to wait to see how it does. Because after seeing the way Sonic Forces did, oh yeah, I did this randomly. I just like, I'll let that one go into that elevator, and I went into the other one. Anyway, after seeing how Sonic Forces did, and like how much they were promoting classic Sonic and just were not letting up, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and see how Team Sonic... At this point in time, it's still not out yet. At this video's point in time. This recording. It comes out in just a little over a month. Like the release date is May 21st, I think, so a little over a month from this recording. And who knows, by the time we release this, it'll probably still be before. But anyway, I'm gonna wait and see how that does, because some things do look a little lackluster. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sonic, it does. No, he said, no! He randomly has this, like, different, almost like different voice whenever he dies, like, from falling. He's like, no! Like this. Yeah. Anyway. So Team Sonic Racing, I just have to say it's... I have to wait and see how it does. It's like, I'm sorry, Sonic Team, and, well, Sega, but, you know, people behind making Sonic. I'm sorry, but I just have to wait and see how it does. I mean, people have been making a lot of good points about how, you know, this racing game looks like Team Sonic. Okay, here's a few of the problems that people have pointed out, but I'm just gonna repeat it. By the way, this helicopter used to be more shiny in the Dreamcast version. I think people look at that and say, well, the GameCube is, you know. Okay, so some things people have pointed out, but I'm pointing out too. One of the big things is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel coming out. And unless that one they just absolutely screw up with that one, unless like Vinox or Activision, whoever, just absolutely screws up that game, it's gonna do a lot better than Team Sonic Racing. Both in terms of probably sales, and I screwed up here for a second. I'm supposed to be writing down, but this is weird. But both in terms of sales and in terms of just quality of the game. And yeah, part of what's going to help Crash Team Racing is going to be partially nostalgia, but from all the stuff they're doing, for all the stuff they're adding to it and everything, I mean, it's going to be quite amazing. If Team Sonic Racing, let's say they had actually been, the game had actually been released last year, it probably would have done better. I'm not gonna say I know what the future is. It just seems obvious. This is like a most likely situation. Anything could change, but between now and when those games release. But I gotta say, it will... Like, I'm pretty sure Team Sonic Racing will do well enough in sales, but you know that Crash Team Racing is gonna kill it. But yeah, and one thing that is gonna kill Team Sonic Racing is just, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to wait and see how the game does. The fact that they only have a select few characters, when you compare, like, okay, yeah, Nintendo has a lot more money than probably Sega, but they put so much work into bouncing out the fighters and stuff in Sonic, or excuse me, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Even though the game I didn't feel was as good as like some others, they did put a lot of work into balancing, and the characters are a lot different when you use them. When it comes to fighting games, there's a lot more complications with, you know, actually balancing out the characters. In a racing game, you can just kind of change the speed and, you know, some things with characters. You don't really have to, because you're not editing the characters, you're editing the cars they're driving. But because of, I was a little confused of where to go, I think. Oh yeah, she wants her dad to come home. That's kind of sad. But anyway, yeah, in a racing game, you can just kind of edit the way the cars are. Now, they are gonna have custom car options in Team Sonic Racing, but I feel like they still could have had more characters, like more teams and stuff. So, the fact that they are having a lack of that is just, you know. So, as much as I want to pre-order that game and try to get it day one, I'm gonna have to wait and see how it does.
Amy? Oh man, where can she be?
Ah! Sonic! Help!
Amy? Amy?
I'll cut him off at the Mystic Ruins.
Must have been like on my phone or something. Probably why I paused it a lot on this. Oh, of course here I'm just checking the map. I'm just, well, showing off the map. And showing that there's a free camera often, and I don't really use that one as much. So, I don't know.
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing soon.
But where I was gonna get at was Sonic, like, okay, I didn't want Sonic to become Nintendo exclusive. I still don't really want it to. But I've now started planning on...
Let me go, you hunk of junk! I mean it!
Hey there, Bolt Brain. You better give Amy to me or I'll squash ya.
There's all these stupid phrases. I'll squash ya. Well, I'm gonna go now.
Hey, what's happening here?
Hey, you remember the egg carrier thing? Oh yeah, well it's here again. Whew. Sonic, go into the beam. Go into the beam. Go up with him. Go up to the beam. No? Okay, well.
Shoot! I've lost her again!
You know. Anyway,
Hurry, Sonic, get to the mountaintop. You still have time.
when I really looked at it, when I really looked at the list of games that Sonic has been in, that's been multi-platform, if I'm honest, the Nintendo versions usually are the better ones. If I'm completely honest here, and look at this. Whoa.
This is the ancient light. Try the light speed dash toward the enemy. With this, you can now do the light speed attack.
Well, isn't that cool? So, like, again, I don't want it to go Nintendo exclusive, but I will have to admit that most of the Nintendo versions of Sonic games are the better, the better versions.
If only that monkey guard wasn't there.
So I've decided to start collecting most of the Sonic games that aren't on Nintendo systems, unless there's just one that's so bad on that one, and like, how should I put this? Let's see. When you look at Sonic, okay, starting with Sonic Heroes, that's when it went multi-platform altogether, like, completely. Like, this one was Nintendo exclusive in terms of the re-release. I mean, obviously not the game itself, but like the re-release of it, the remake, the DX part, was Nintendo well, okay, it was also released on PC, I think, a while back, or years ago, but, in terms of consoles, starting with Sonic Heroes, like, I think the graphics were the best on the Xbox. But in terms of overall performance and everything, the GameCube version was the best one. The PS2 version is the worst one of the bunch. Because, you know, like that was the one I first started out on because I only had a PS2 out of the systems it was on. I only had a PS2 at the time. And like, I was wanting to get a bunch of Sonic games on the PlayStation systems, but when I really looked at it, Nintendo seems to suck Sega really seems to suck at making PlayStation games, like whenever they're on other platforms as well. The games that are like that, like, they really seem to suck at it. I mean, now they're getting it right, but even in the the PS3 had a bit of a confusing code thing, so most of the ports were not as good. But PS2 seemed a little easier, yet they screwed up somehow on PS2 with Sonic games and like Sega games in general, most of the time. Unless they were exclusive. Like, unless they were exclusive Sega games, they didn't do as well on the PS2. Like, I like Sonic Rivals, but those were PSP exclusive. Both of those games were. So, obviously, because they were only working on one platform, it was going to do a little better. But say those were also released on the DS, I would not be surprised at all if the DS versions were better, despite the PSP being more powerful. So, basically, I'm gonna start trying to go with more Nintendo things. Despite me not wanting it to be Nintendo exclusive, I will have to go with the Nintendo versions. I'm a little more confident in Nintendo now making Sonic exclusive to Nintendo. I'm a little more confident in that now, but, you know, Nintendo's still making some poor decisions. Of course, I mean, Nintendo's not the only one. I mean, PlayStation and Xbox make poor decisions as well, so I mean, you know. But, you know, I'm just gonna suck it up and, you know. But yeah, the GameCube version of Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, I think maybe Sonic Riders. It's just the better versions of the Sonic games. Sonic Unleashed, it really depends on preference. But I've come to realize that I probably prefer the Wii version over all of them. Like, the PlayStation versions of Sonic Unleashed are the worst ones. Like, the one that's like the 360 version, the PS3 version is not as good. Well, it's not too terribly worse than the 360 version, but you know. Well, okay, and also the PS3 version of Sonic 06 was actually a little bit worse than the 360 version. Not that that's saying much, but you know. Believe it or not, there's something worse in the 360 version of Sonic 06 in terms of Sonic games. Well, hey there, Tails, casually. Let's just casually talk as I just have to yell to you. Sonic's just standing still. Just did not do a thing there. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to, but you know. Oh, this game. I mean, it's a good one. It just has a lot of flaws. Oh. So once again, I'm laying on my bed doing this. I sound a little far away. The mic is a little bit farther away from me, but oh well. I'm sure you can still hear me. I'm still talking loud enough. I can see it on the thing there. I can tell it's catching my voice. So anyway, yeah, we're in another one of these flight sections. It's getting close to the end of, well, the part for me. This is part 2 for me, but it's possibly part 4 for you all right now. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. Probably what I'm going to do is split, like, I'm going to be splitting all these stories into 2 parts, except probably Big. Spoilers, Big, I was able to finish really fast. Like, Big Story is one of those things where, if you don't know what you're doing, it can take forever, but once you know what you're doing, once you know how to actually catch Froggy, it's actually very short. Like, it's one of the shortest stories.
So far, so good.
Hope you know what you're doing.
You bet. Watch this. Transforming now.
But yeah, Big the Cat story, if you, like I said, if you know what you're doing, you can beat that game. You can beat it in like less than half an hour, basically. Obviously, when I first played it, it took me forever to do it. But after I did it, I was like, once I knew what to do, it was like, this is really simple. But I can understand people's criticism with it. I mean, it really was unfitting for a Sonic game. But I still like Big the Cat unironically. He's a lovable idiot. I think that's what they were going for, and they succeeded. It's just people didn't like it as much. He's almost like Ed to me, in a way, like Ed from Ed and Eddie. I know there's a lot of Ed characters, so I had to be sure I said it right. Edward Mercer. Ugh. Like it just. I was afraid I was actually about to die on here. I was like, I have to start all over, and well, no, wait, no, it's not this part. It's whenever I play as Tails, because you do these levels as Tails as well when you're playing as Tails. Looky boo.
Alrighty, we're in.
We gotta land on the egg carrier.
Whoops. I forgot something.
What's that?
There's no landing gear in this mode.
What?
Well, this part's almost over, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just wait for the cutscene to end. Next one.
Wow, this thing is really huge.
No time to talk now. We need to find Amy.
You're right, my friend. So here we go.
Dear Lord. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and just remember, like these videos if you want to, subscribe if you want to, and you will hear me next time.